Hello, fellow questers. My name's John, and today we're going to be talking about planning a pre-written adventure. After the last video, I thought I would revisit that topic, but from the perspective of taking a pre-written adventure and adapting that into Sly Flourish's Return of the Lazy Dungeon Master framework in order to prepare that pre-written adventure for a single session. Note that this video is going to spoil the first part of the Lost Mine of Phandelver. The first step on the Lazy Dungeon Master's checklist is to review the characters. So if we've already started with characters or we have players with characters before we go in to have our own time in order to plan for the session, we can use that as inspiration to highlight some of those characters within the adaptation of this pre-written adventure. The next step is to create a strong start. Now, I do think that the Lost Mine of Phandelver does have a pretty good strong start. As you can see here, when in doubt, start with a fight. And this doesn't disappoint. On page 3 of Lost Mine of Phandelver, there's an overview that gives a bird's eye view of each one of the parts of the campaign. What I've done is I've just taken that portion or that overview from part 1, and I've created that in my session outline template, doing the begin, middle, climax, and resolution structure that I had with my last planning. Additionally, for the strong start, it starts off with 4 goblins that are hiding in the woods, and they attack the players on the road. So I've added that here as my strong start. Now we'll move on to outlining potential scenes. I think that there's already a potential scene that we can outline from the beginning of this part. The first one being the 2 dead horses that players are going to encounter as they're going down the Triborn Trail. There's also 2 goblins they're going to find posted up right outside of the cave entrance, and they're going to potentially have a flood occur when they're in those caves. Now we'll move on to defining secrets and clues. This will help outline certain things that the players can discover that's going to lead them in the right direction. Here are some of the clues and secrets that players could be provided. I don't think that I exactly captured them all, but I did capture the highlights that are going to significantly affect their ability to overcome obstacles. Then we'll follow that up with developing fantastic locations. The helpful thing about some of these pre-written adventures is that they have different types of outlines for certain locations that we can already use within developing those fantastic locations. These are the locations that I found were notable. They're not necessarily fantastic locations, but they are locations that are significant enough to highlight. We'll follow that up with outlining important non-player characters. Let's go through there and just detail those out, however many there are within this first part. These are the important non-player characters that I found. I named them here as well as given them descriptions so that when I look at this, I can quickly tell exactly what their part in the narrative is. Next, we'll choose relevant monsters. This will include the goblins that they fought right in the beginning of the session, along with any other encounters that they have outlined here in part 1. Unlike what I did before, I grouped relevant monsters in the locations that they're going to be found in order for me to quickly reference certain types of encounters that the players are likely to face. Next, we'll select magic item rewards. This doesn't necessarily have too many magic items in there, so you can choose to supplement some additional magic items if you want to enrich that part, but definitely outline some rewards or treasure for your players that investigate thoroughly. These aren't exactly magic items, but they are treasure that's identified within part 1. I would say if you would want to make this a little bit more interesting, you could add 1 or 2 magic items, but this is perfectly fine, especially for an initial session. After we're done with that first session, what we'll do is we'll start to plan the second part of this pre-written adventure. What we'll do with that is we'll take our already existing preparation notes, along with whatever outcomes happened within that first session that we had played, and we'll use those in a blended way in order to provide our players with an integrated story that helps develop their characters within this pre-written adventure. I hope that this has helped show how to take a pre-written adventure and adapt it into more of that improvisational structure for your table. As always, thanks for listening. Please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time.